Hey guys, this is Versatile from Game Dexterity. So I got a really interesting tutorial today. It's not a game tutorial, it's more of a software tutorial. And for the past couple days, weeks, months maybe, I always get someone asking me, hey, what is that cool taskbar that you're using inside the Windows environment? Is that Windows XP? Is that Windows 7? Is that Windows Vista? Is that Linux? And the answer to all of those is, it's none of those, okay? So here I am in the regular Windows 7 desktop environment. I right click, I go here. This is all your standard Windows 7 stuff, okay? But there is a program that allows you to transform your Windows environment, like your desktop, and I love it. It's called EmergeDesktop. So I have it uninstalled. I uninstalled the whole thing, and I'm going to give you guys a really quick crash course on how to use that program and how you can make your PC, customize it the way you want it to be, and live like this very minimalistic lifestyle. So let's go ahead and let's go into Firefox. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the EmergeDesktop website. So let's do that right now. Desktop.org. Okay. And then what you want to do is click on Downloads. And I'll show you where to get the files, and then you can go ahead and download and install it, which I already downloaded. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and download the base. So this is the latest version. So you click on that first, download it, okay, then you install it. Second thing is you want to get and this is purely optional. This is what I do because I always want the latest and greatest things. Even though it says development version, most of the time it's okay. It's not going to break your PC or anything. So go ahead and download the latest version, whatever that's going to be. So I already did that, right? So let me go ahead and bring up that folder here. So I already got it into EmergeDesktop downloads, and let me kill that, and let's do this. Okay, so let's install EmergeDesktop. This is what it looks like. Click on Run. Next, I agree. Yeah. Set as you can select this if you want to set this as a default shell for the current user. So since there's only one PC, one user on my PC, then I will do that. But if you don't want to do that, then you don't have to check that. Click on Next. I'm okay with this, so let's install it. And then reboot now? No, don't want to do that. Click on Finish. And then you can go here on the updates if you decide to download that developmental update. And then you select all of this, click on Extract, tell it where you want to extract. So basically we want to extract it into the main folder of EmergeDesktop. Now I am using 64-bit Windows, which is great, so I can get the 64-bit version of EmergeDesktop. And I say OK. And it's going to extract into that root of that folder there. And I say yes to all. And life is good. Sweet. So now if you want to change the desktop shell, you could restart your PC, or you could do this. You can say if you want to change the desktop shell, you go to EmergeDesktop, you say EmergeDesktop shell changer, and you say, if you want to go to Windows or you want to go to Emerge, and you can log off, log back in, and you have your new desktop. So what I'm going to do right now is let me log off and log back in, and we will resume this recording. Alright, so I've just logged back in, and this is what it looks like right after you do a fresh install. So if I were to click on tutorial or forum or wiki, it's going to bring up the browser. If you got a couple minutes, by all means take a look at those, read it, and you'll be up to speed as to what the heck EmergeDesktop is, how to use it, how to use all these different commands and windows and all those different type of things. But I'm not going to explain to you every single little thing about EmergeDesktop. So let me just show you quickly how I use it, and then from there, if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment on the YouTube page, and then we'll talk about it in the future. So first thing I want to do is I want to relocate this. So if I hold down Control, see how you have this arrow thing, and I move it down like so. Next thing is I don't like how are we going to do this? So much. There's so many good things I want to talk about in EmergeDesktop. Well, let's talk about this first of all. Notice that there's no desktop icons here. That's just the way EmergeDesktop is. If you right click, you get a special menu system. Pretty cool. If you go to settings here, this is where you configure your workspace. So if I click on that, this is called desktop borders. So for example, here, let's bring up a good example. Let's say I bring up Firefox, okay? And when Firefox is maximized, I have this border space. This is 44 pixels. If I were to change this to like 10, for example, now if I minimize and maximize, look at that border space. It's now 10. And the best part is, if I have the border space available, I can right click down here and access my menu structure while my browser is still full screen. This is why I like EmergeDesktop, because if I leave some border space down here, I can access my menu, which is pretty cool. So let's go back to configure workspace, and I want to change it back to 44. And then if I minimize and maximize. I got that space here. So, oh, see, it's not, well, it doesn't really matter because I was going to show you some more tricks here. Next thing I want to do is, I don't like these colors. I'm sorry, EmergeDesktop team. I just don't like these colors here. So, if I want to change that, if I control, right click, go to configure, go to style editor, and background, let's change that down to 0 for opacity, and booyah, it's gone. Same thing for the middle one. Background, 0, gone. And then down here, right click, configure, style editor, background 0, gone. So that's how you do it. Another cool thing is down here, this is called, if you go to settings and you go to configure core, these are all the different applets you can use for EmergeDesktop. So if for whatever reason something crashes, like your emerge task, this is an applet for that middle thing here. So if I go back here, click on the green thing, it comes back up. That's how you restart it. And there's all these different things. Command is like your clock. See how the clock came back and off, things like that. Now what's cool is I can hide these icons. So when you see me recording, you don't see the little Camtasia icon in your face blinking all the time because I find that annoying. So what I do is I hold down the Alt key, left click, right click. It was actually Alt and left click. I just misclicked. And it disappears. If I hover back, there it is. So let's get rid of this icon. And I don't need this one. 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 So, good. All right, another thing is this is your clock. So let's say you want to change your clock style. So you press Control, hold it down, and right click. Go to Configure. And let's say you don't like the color, so you can go to gradient here, change the color to whatever. So if I say, like this magenta thing, press OK, and it is that color. So I don't like that, so let me change it back to something else. Color, and we can go back to this yellowish thing for now. And position, I'm not going through all these different options here, but this is how you change your position of the text or numbers or anything like that. General, this is where you can change your time format. So if you want to change your time, like you don't like the way it says 1905 for example or whatever, if you go to the help section here and in the search you type in clock, that's easy enough. Left click on this. Here are all the different time variables. So let me use a time variable that I'm familiar with. I'm going to go with percent sign I colon percent sign capital M space percent sign little p, and I press OK. What that did for me is it's going to, oh, I screwed up. I typed in the wrong thing here. I had this quotation mark, so let's erase that. So there we go. So now I got it in the 12-hour format. Hour, minutes, and then AM or PM. Pretty cool stuff. Anything else? If you left click on here, it's the same thing as your menu structure, so nothing fancy there. If I were to right click on here and say go to configure, this is like your little quick launch taskbar, so to speak. So let's say you want to add some more launch items, right? So if I were to go here and I click on plus, okay, go down to type. Let's say I want to add an executable, for example. I want to add some whatever program. So I left click on here, and here you go find some program, whatever you want to do. So let's say that I want to do okay, like Fraps for example. So I left click on here, say open, working directory. I think I can leave that alone, not that big of a deal. Icon, yeah, I want an icon. Let's select the Fraps icon, and then I say OK. Oh crap, you have to click on the save button, then you press OK. But notice that the Fraps is to the left of the separator line. I screwed up, I didn't want that. So when I go back to configure, go back to launch items, go back to Fraps, which is this guy, press the down, past the separator, and there, we got a separator. So you can make a really cool launch item pad down here. And then of course this is my transparent taskbar, because a lot of people say, hey Versatile, that taskbar is awesome, where do you get it? Well, technically it's part of the EmergeDesktop environment, so you gotta download that guy first, and then you can do all this cool stuff that I just did. And like I said, I love this because now I can right click down here, access the desktop or anything on the fly. And some people, what they do is they use EmergeDesktop on your netbooks, laptops, desktops to keep that minimalistic type feel, because you notice that you don't have your desktop icons here. But if you go to settings, if you go to configure core and you go to advanced and you left click on this, you can get your old traditional Windows desktop environment back as well. But I don't like that because I've sort of got used to the whole EmergeDesktop menu system, which is fine. So let's go back and change that back. Okay, is there anything else? I think that's pretty much it. A lot of people they use programs like Launchy like this, or they use like Search Everything like this, or they use Rain Meter or other customization type programs to make their computer a little bit cooler. And this is how I do my way of life here. I don't know. So if you like this type of video, please like, favorite, and subscribe so that hopefully one day we can get to the front page of YouTube. Otherwise, you got any nitpicky questions, leave a comment here on the YouTube page and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.